So yesterday we were mainly discussing the different fields that we have in the customer master. One is the sales, in the sales tab under the sales area data view, what we have, and again under the shipping tab, what we have is what we have seen. Today what we will do is we'll start with the what are all the different fields that you have in the billing document. Okay, so whenever there is a billing document, so again as we mentioned, majorly we will have something called a sales. Whenever we're creating some sales order towards a customer, there will be mainly these three processes. One is selling the goods, where you have a sales order. Then you will have a delivery where you will be shipping the goods. Then there will be an invoice document that you generate where you will bill to the customer. So once it is done, again it is up to the accounts receivables to receive the payments. So accounts receivables is part of the again FI that would be there. So our jobs ends from the time we generate an invoice. Then the role of an SD is almost complete. Again, from an whenever these are all the different steps that we will have. But up, along with this, once the just give me 1 minute. Okay. Along with this sales order, delivery, invoice documents that gets generated. Once invoice is generated, what happens is, for along with invoice, even in the FI document there will be an accounting document that gets generated. So every invoice document will have an corresponding accounting document. So these are something that happens from an SD point of view. But uh, uh, along with invoice, when the invoice is generated, there will be something called an accounting entry also that gets generated in FI. So this is an accounting entry from which finance team will know, okay, how much is total receivables that are there, to which GL account it has to post. So there are so many different GL accounts, and there are so many different account type that would be defined on the finance side. So along with invoice, there'll be an accounting document also that gets generated for us. Okay, so now here we have something called a subsequent invoice processing. Okay, so if in case you check the subsequent invoice processing, what happens is, for suppose in generally system will post the accounting document based on the configuration. We will have something called an account determination. So there is something called an GL account determination that we will discuss further. How the GL accounts could get automatically determined during the invoice document and all. But we have some process through which what happens, the accounting entry gets posted along with the invoice document, automatically. But once it is, what you have to, what is important is, once it is posted to the invoice, once it is posted to the accounting document, you should not, in generally you cannot do anything with the invoice anymore. Let's say any changes that you need to do to an invoice, it has to be before an accounting documents get generated. Once accounting documents gets generated, all the fields in the invoice gets will get, I would say, only in the displayed mode. They no longer will be editable. Any edit that you need to done, maybe bit related to some payment terms, or in terms of some, let's say, some Incoterms, or there are some different things. Anything that we need to do is before the accounting document that gets generated. Now let's say business would come and say to us, yeah, we know that you have done all the configuration, but whenever you create an invoice for me, there should not be any automatically the invoice should get generated. Sorry, automatically the accounting document should get generated for a particular invoice. So the invoice document will get generated, but we will review this particular invoice document, then we will release to the accounting manually by us. So you do all your configuration and everything, but you should not post the values to accounting automatically. If in case that would be the requirement, what you do is, we have something called a subsequent invoice processing. If you check this field, what happens is, if you check this field, then system will not post to the accounting automatically. So we have a particular transaction code, we'll again discuss. We have a particular transaction code called /o VFX3. There is a particular transaction code. In generally, once the invoice is generated, we use this transaction code in order to release our billing documents for accounting. So they will verify everything. If in case everything is fine, then they'll come to this transaction code. Then they select then they select your SD document or billing type. There are multiple things to which, and again, they will release to the accounting all these billing documents manually. So whenever you check the subsequent invoice processing, the accounting document will not get generated automatically for a particular invoice. Okay, you will have to release it manually. Okay, if in case we have a business requirement saying that for an invoice document, do not post accounting automatically, we will release it manually, then you need to come and check this box called subsequent invoice processing. Okay, so then whenever this is there, then we use this particular transaction code called BFX3 for you to release the billing documents to accounting. But we'll see further. Okay, so this is to avoid an automatic entry, automatically posting to an accounting document during the invoice creation. Okay, so the next field that we have is rebate. So rebate is kind of a concept that we have. We'll again further discuss, like, mainly there is a concept called a rebate in SD, where we give, mm, let's say rebate is a concept. Basically, it will have some validity period, and basically, like, let's say the rebate concept comes into the picture for suppose, I'll just give you an example, just for the rebate. Maybe your company decided to give some extra discounts to maybe some percentage or some fixed amount based on the business volumes or the quantities that the customer will purchase. Let's, for the sake of an example, but we'll discuss further in detail about this rebate. There is a separate concept, but at the moment, just to understand the gist of what it is. So basically, like, let's say in the middle of the year, somewhere in August or somewhere in June, July, the company will say, okay, for we will be giving a discount to customers, an additional discount of 10%. Let's say we will be giving an additional discount of 10% for those customers, who will do, let's say, who will do the business volume maybe around some 10 lakhs, uh, 10 lakhs, maybe for our sake, just I'll say 10 lakhs INR during the period between 01 01 2021 till 31st 12 2021. So basically, like, maybe, let's say, whoever does this, I'll give a discount of 10%. Okay, or it can be maybe beginning of the year also they can announce. Maybe the rebate is announced, let's say, 1st of June, or maybe during it might be even on the 1st of January also they can announce. So maybe the company announces a particular, let's say, a rebate maybe on the 1st of June, saying that, we'll give some 10% additional discount for those customers who will be doing a 10 lakh INR. So we'll give some 10% additional discount for them between these periods. So the total business volume between this and this has to be, uh, let's say, between these two periods have to be around 10 lakhs. If it is 10 lakhs, then you will be eligible to get an additional 10% discount. Similarly, so in this case, because the rebate is announced in the middle of an year, so, and we need to take all the invoices from the beginning of an year. So we have something called retroactive rebate. We'll talk about the concept, whatever it is, but it can be, we can take into consideration mainly about the rebate that we will have. But here, I mean, like this, like, this is basically a rebate concept happens in this way, saying that, if in case the customer, let's say, uh, if in case we will be giving some additional discounts to the customers who will do certain business volume of so and so, like that. And this rebate agreement is specific to some, it's not for all the customers, huh? we will be announcing this rebate only for some specific customers. Might be like, who are doing some good business with us, or let's say some customers where you need to promote some materials. So here we'll have multiple rebates, like, for all you have something called a general rebate, mainly normal rebate for all the materials. You will have material specific rebate where you wanted to push sales of certain materials more, like, we'll talk about in detail in the later point of time. But in order for you, like, if in case the customer is eligible for the rebate, let's say there is a particular customer who's eligible for the rebate, then this rebate checkbox that we have will act as a prerequisite field, in order to process your rebate, which means this customer is eligible for rebate. So this is a prerequisite field that we should have for the rebate concept to work. We'll again discuss, there are other prerequisite fields as well that we have, but this is one of the prerequisite fields in order for the rebate to get triggered. Okay, so if in case you check this rebate box, which means this customer is eligible to receive the rebate if in case he is able to achieve this particular target that the company will put in. Clear? This is mainly that we have for the rebate. Similarly, we have something called price determination. Okay, price determination. Okay, this field is applicable, I would say, mainly for the customer hierarchy. We have not discussed about the customer hierarchy, that is the customer hierarchy yet, but this field is applicable where we will have something called the customer hierarchy. In customer hierarchy, we'll check these fields whenever we have this customer belonging to a customer hierarchy. uh, you know uh, we will be using this particular field, but we will discuss further when we talk about something called a customer hierarchy. But at the moment, you can just think this is only used when we have customer hierarchy in place. Okay, then there is something called invoicing list dates. So invoicing list dates, basically this is we have in generally, like, uh, as soon as like, say, we have a sales order, then a delivery, then an invoice will also get generated, right? Now let's say business, uh, okay, uh, there's something called an invoicing dates and invoicing list dates. There are two things. Okay, basically first we'll talk about the invoicing dates. Invoicing dates means, for example, uh, let's say the customer, as we mentioned, like, we let's say we will have multiple persons. Let's say there is a person who places an order is known as sold to party, and the person who receives an order is known as ship to party. Then you have bill to party. Then you have payer. Okay, now, for example, let's just take Star Bazaar or the Reliance Digital, something that we have in place. Maybe let's try to take some more, or Star Bazaar or something. So in generally, this Star Bazaar will be there in multiple locations. Let's say I'll take just a simple example like Karnataka that we have. Under Karnataka, might be I have in Bangalore, uh, and might be in Mysore, and something like Mangalore. India. So something like this. I just gave some three places. Inside here, you will have some uh, East, Bangalore East, West. This example, North, South. In Bangalore, we'll have multiple divisions, and inside that, you will have again, under East, you will have some areas that falls under East. Maybe let's just, for the sake of only one, I'll just take as an example. Maybe I'll just take something called an East. Under East, you will again have something called, let's say, Whitefield, or some. OMR, something like this. So there will be multiple places under it. So everywhere you have a Star Bazaar. Wherever there's a Star Bazaar, there will be uh, kind of a Star Bazaar in some OMR road or in Whitefield. Again, under west there are some two different areas, under north there are two different areas. South, similarly, like this, you'll have multiple areas. Now the person who places an order might be these fellows who needs goods. Maybe a particular Star Bazaar in Whitefield or in OMR will place an order, but he would just say, boss, you send me the you send the bill to the person who will be mainly in the Bangalore office. So sold to party will be these guys who are there. Okay, and for whom we would say, okay, you send, I'll be the one who will be placing an order. And or maybe, the east person is the one who will be placing an order. East person will place an order for all the ship to parties. So east might be become a sold to party, and ship to party will become this Whitefield or this OMR. So these two will become some ship to party. Then bill to party, they would say, bill to party, you send the bill to the Bangalore one. Okay, and the payer will be the one that would be there, let's say Karnataka. So he will be the payer. So maybe the somewhere, there will be some division that would be there: the one who places an order, the one who receives the order, the one who needs the bill, and the payer. So this is, I'm talking about the east. Same way, if in case I take a west or south, whatever it is, let's say if I just take south, all this is in Bangalore only, yeah, just for the Bangalore. Uh, so if I just take South Bangalore, maybe something like that. I'm just taking two different areas that we have. So similarly, sold to party will be south. Maybe there are two places in somewhere in South Bangalore where to whom the goods needs to be shipped. Then again, the bill to party will be Bangalore, and again the payer will be Karnataka. So whenever the bill to party is the one to whom we will be generating a bill. So what happens here is, now the customer comes with a requirement saying, boss, this is all fine, but the bill to party would say, there are multiple people who places an order. They are sold to party east, south, north, and let's say this one, there will be a bill to party. And again, the one who makes a payment, Karnataka will have Bangalore, Mysore, Mandya, so many people, so many different places they need to make a payment. So what they tell is, maybe for all this, we are the suppliers. Let's say we are supplying for all these people, because we have the stock, and generally we will supply to all these Star Bazaars that are available. Maybe our product is something like into food business, where we supply to everyone. We have contract all throughout the Karnataka, and we have, let's say, offices all throughout Karnataka. In that case, what happens? So you would say whenever the invoice gets generated, consolidate all the invoices. Let's say you consolidated all the invoices, let's say for your uh, you know you consolidate all your invoices for all the sold to and shipped to parties, and send billing document together. So which means you send the Bangalore, Mysore, and Mandya together for all the invoices, for all the transactions happen over the period of 1 month. Okay, so basically they're saying, whenever the invoice is raised, you consolidate the different people, the multiple bill to parties. One is bill to party Bangalore, maybe there's a bill to party called a bill to party called Mysore, and there's a bill to party called Mandya that we have, all part of Karnataka. So you're saying, whatever the transactions that happen with all the bill to parties, you consolidate together with them and send me one single invoice. Okay, because then I'll be making a payment. Or uh, if in case, because the payer is same, the payer is the one who will be, let's say, making the payment. So in the invoice, you're saying that you don't send me one separate invoice for Bangalore, one separate invoice for Mysore, one separate invoice for Mandya, and again, don't send every invoice separately for Whitefield, OMR. Then there'll be so many different invoices that gets generated, because you're dealing with all the different places. then the customer would say, I would like to receive one consolidated invoice that is raised in this particular month for multiple bill to parties, and send consolidate and send it into one invoice document where I'll clear the full amount that would be there. If in case business has such requirement, okay, then we will be maintaining something called an invoice list. So invoice list we will again talk about it. There is a transaction code that we have in SAP, which is called VF21. So where we will be creating some invoice list, like consolidating all the invoice documents together into one invoice. So we can merge all the invoice documents into one particular invoice. So that is called as invoice document list. So here the invoice list dates that we have here, which is mainly talking about a factory calendar that will be assigned, that will have that particular date on which we will be sending that invoice in a consolidated way. Okay, so we'll be consolidating different invoices together, and we will be sending together all the invoices in one single invoice. That is called invoicing list dates. And we will maintain a calendar on which we will be maintaining those invoices, on which we will be sending those invoices. Maybe he will say, I want you to generate an invoice 15th of every month, or he would say, I want you to generate an invoice the 1st of every month, or 31st of every month, or 30th, or whatever is it. So you will maintain that date, and you will maintain that calendar here. That is called as invoicing list dates. Similarly, invoicing dates is simple. So there is no consolidation of different invoices into invoice list, but the customer would say, he will be the one who will be making a payment, that he would say, I want you to generate an invoice for all, on a particular date. So do, do not generate an invoice. Let's say, I will be taking multiple delivery. I will be taking multiple deliveries, but the invoice would be only on a particular date that he would like to receive. For whatever is the order that is placed, he would like to generate an invoice only on, let's say, 15th of every month or 20th. He will have some clearance that would be there. So before that, he wants to generate an invoice. Let's say, like we will generate an invoice towards the clients also, like every 15 days or monthly one, something like that, right? So invoicing date is like that, like you maintain some factory calendar on which the invoice has to be generated towards the customer. So this invoicing date is just a date where we'll maintain a calendar to generate an invoice on some particular date. Invoicing list dates is again, it's again the invoicing date, but it will contain the list where you can club multiple invoices together, and you will be able to trigger it towards the payer. Okay, and again the transaction code that we will have is VF21. Excuse me. But when we come to this invoicing topic, then you can see further, like what would be there. Okay, and we have some configurations also for this. And for the invoicing dates and invoice list dates, the configuration will be almost the same. There won't be any there has to be other configuration, but this configuration will be in align, but we'll see it later how do we do that and all. Okay, then you have delivery and payment terms section. So in this delivery and payment term, the first thing we have is called Incoterms. Incoterms are nothing but they are internationally agreed terms and conditions, internationally agreed terms that we call them. So basically Incoterms are that you deal with your particular customer until the shipping responsibility. This is mainly for the shipping part. So you have something called, you know uh, whenever the goods are delivered to the customer, until what point of time are you responsible, and from what point of time the customer is responsible. That we will be maintaining in the Incoterms. So basically, we will have multiple Incoterms that we can define. Let's say, COD means, cash, it's mainly, there are multiple terms that we will have. uh, Guys, just 1 minute. Just give me 1 minute. Someone is at my door. Okay. So this Incoterms are basically like, the internationally agreed terms that we call them. So basically here, what happens is like, you would say delivered to place, like, DOP or DAP. So what does it means? Until it is delivered to the customer, it is responsibility of the shipper. Or might be we would say delivered, like, certain things cleared by the customs, or you're only responsible for, let's say only until you ship the goods, then to receive the goods and all, it's a responsibility. I mean, if in case there is some damage that happens, then it is responsibility of the insurance people. Or the moment you deliver the goods, then it becomes a responsibility of the, let's say, the customer to receive the goods. Or you're only responsible to deliver until a particular port, after which it's up to the customer to come and pick it up. Or or there is no term. So there will be something like internationally there will be some agreed terms whenever we have this kind of mainly, like, whenever we have this export business and all, like who is responsible until what point of time. So that would be there, like, there'll be some terms that the business would agree. So basically these terms we can be configured. So we are mainly saying, okay, uh, if in case, let's say, you can also actually check what all the different Incoterms. They're kind of standard that you will have, even it's not specific to SAP, or it's not specific to any business. So these are all the common terms that you will have, everywhere. You can also just Google it and see the Incoterms that would be available. So basically, like, here, what is the Incoterms that would be maintained with the customer is what you will be giving here. And this is very important in terms of the agreements that they have with the customer. So based on the location, whenever they discuss, the pre-sales people, they will come and say, okay, these are all something that we have agreed with this customer. These are all the Incoterms that are agreed with him, and they'll come and maintain the Incoterms here in the system. Then here in the Incoterms, there is part one and part two. There is some code of it. Then you can have some part two. You can use it to have some location details maintained. You can use it just for the description of this, the cost and freight or whatever it is. You can use it for the multiple purpose. It's kind of a free text that is there. So here the Incoterm that you will have is always something that you need to select from the list that will be configured. And again, the part two of it is again a free text. Anything that can be maintained. Mainly, they'll be maintaining some location details from which, until from which it would be delivered. Let's say, uh, let's say the country from which it is delivered is what they will maintain here. Or you can maintain the cost and freight or whatever is it. It's a free text. The part two will be kind of a free text that can be maintained. Okay. So then we have something called a terms of payment. Terms of payment is nothing but, like, what is the payment terms that you will agree with the customer. For example, I we would say the customer has to pay immediately the amount once we deliver the goods. Okay, we won't be giving him any credit. Or you would say we will give him credit of, let's say, we will I will there's again multiple ways, like, terms of payment. Whenever it comes to terms of payment, so first we will say maybe uh, 0001, the standard I'm just talking about. So if you have 0001, you would say it has to be paid immediately, or maybe 0002, whatever would be defined. So you would say he once the delivery is done, I'll give a credit of 45 days. So 45 days time period is what we will be giving him. But let's say if he clear within 10 days, if in case he clears within 10 days, you give some 5% discount. And if he clears the, if he clears within 10 days, you say, you give him some 5% discount. And if he clears within 20 days, then you give him some 3% discount, additional discount on his value. Then if he clears within 30 days, then you give him some 2% discount. And if he clears above 30 days, then there's no discount. And if he does not pay in 45 days, then there may be some other charges also that gets applied, uh, uh, because there'll be some amount that gets applied to him because as a penalty and all. So like this, you can define multiple terms in, that when you negotiate with the customer, saying that was these are all the kind of terms, there'll be different terms. You would say, no, I would need this, I will be clearing before, is there additional discount, or if in case if you don't clear, what is an additional penalty, or anything that can be maintained. But penalty and all will not be maintained in the master data. It will be up to the it will be transaction to transaction basis that would be there. But here in the terms of payment, what you maintain is what will be maintained is, like, what is the terms that are agreed, whether he has to pay immediately or you will give him credit. If in case you give him credit, what is that credit that you give him, for how many days, maybe it's 45 days or it's only 30 days, or will you be giving him any additional discount if he clears it before some days, or you will not be giving any credit, maybe it's only 0003, you will say he has to clear within 30 days. There's no additional discount or anything because it's already been there, so you just give him 30 days within which he has to clear it. So anything that you can maintain it. So this terms of payment, here we will be maintaining all those terms that that is agreed with the customer. You can define any of our own payment terms as well. Once it is defined basically by business, by IT, so that will be used by the business in order for them to give it to the customer. Just for an example, here you have 0001 means payable immediately, there is no due. So 0002 means you have 45 days of due net, but if you pay within 14 days, you get 3% cash discount. If you pay within 30 days, you get 2%. If it's above 30 days, then you'll have to clear before 45 days. This is your due in which you need to clear it. Like this, you can have multiple ways. Like, you can define the payment terms based on the business requirement that they have. So based on the business requirement, we'll be creating some payment terms, and once it is created, we'll be coming and assigning it here. So in between, I'll also go to, maybe instead of not going in the last, again the configuration would remain in the same path that we have been seeing from earlier days. So you go to sales and distribution in SPRO, under which go to master data, under master data go to business partner, customer. Now you go to shipping tab that we have seen yesterday, and today you go to billing tab. In billing tab, you have first is define Incoterms. So you can define your Incoterms that would be there, what would be agreed. For example, I would say uh, there's nothing called DAP, right? I'll just create something called DAP, delivered at place. Okay, then I save this. Delivered at place is something that I have created. So until now DAP will not be there. So if I just come and see here, now the DAP, delivered at place, will also be reflecting here. And here it is saying location mandatory. If you check this location mandatory, and if you save this, then if you select DAP, then system will ask enter part 2 of Incoterms as well. It's saying without the part 2, it will throw an error. That is because I have maintained as location mandatory for DAP. If I remove this location mandatory for DAP, and let me just change this first. Okay, if I just maintain DAP again, okay, again it is asking, I think it's not taken into consideration. Let me just go back again. If I just go to the change mode, if I maintain Incoterms at DAP, then system is not asking mandatory. I can go ahead with other things as well. I don't need to maintain anything here location. But if I maintain this location mandatory and save it, this is a part 2 that gets activated. So system would say, if in case I maintain DAP, system would say enter the part 2 of Incoterms. Then the location will become mandatory. You can enter dot or something, then it will be able to proceed. Or you maintain Karnataka, or actually the location is what the delivery location is what we'll be maintaining there. But it's just a free text. There's no validation that happens in SAP. It's just that that part gets mandatory or not is what we will be able to control here. DAP. Similarly, we have this terms of payment that we'll be creating. So there'll be some terms of payment that would be there. 0001, pay immediately, 0002, and everything that you'll have. For example, if you want to create your own payment terms as well, you can create. You maintain some ID, maybe Z0002, or let's say Z followed by your company, let's say sales or whatever it is. You can give some code, a payment term code, and you can give some text, whatever the text you want, you can maintain it, and you will be maintaining this terms of payment. Again, you have here multiple, let's say, you have multiple maintenance that are there, whether applicable for customers, vendors, fixed days, additional months. This I'll again talk about it in the later point of time. So once we finish with our current checks, we will talk about how do we configure this. Okay, I mean, what are the different options that we have is what I will be discussing a bit later, because today we'll finish with some other topics as well we have. So once we are done with this, I'll come to this payment terms and I'll explain what is the fields that we have inside this payment terms. But yeah, if I just create, let's say, if I just create, copy it and say ZZPY, simply ZZPY. If I just save it, and whatever is created, if you just go to terms of payment, your ZZPY will be reflected at somewhere in the bottom, because ZZPY. So whatever you define it will be reflected for you to select in the customer master. Okay. All right. Then you have something called a payment guarantee procedure. Okay. What is a payment guarantee procedure? Uh, okay. So what happens is, like, whenever this payment guarantee procedure, okay, we have this. Uh, I'm just thinking. Okay. Okay, maybe I can just try to explain in much more. Okay, the payment guarantee procedure. What happens is, in the payment guarantee procedure, whenever you maintain this payment guarantee procedure, there is something called a payment guarantee procedure that you maintain it. So once you maintain it, what happens? The system will actually, you know block your, whenever the sales order is created to a customer, for this customer and all, the system will block for some credit checks. Okay. Maybe because there is some, this is basically mainly used for, let's say, I call it, there is export process and all, that we have it in the export process, because again, okay, okay, I'll try to explain maybe on a high level, but we will have something called an export process. Okay, in export process, what happened? So you are the company, then you have a customer. Okay, your company is located in, let's say, in India, and your customer is based out in, maybe let's say, Europe, or maybe let's say Germany, just uh, just for the sake of telling. So your company is in India, your customer is based out in Germany. So what happens whenever there is a transaction that is happening between the company and a customer, who are between two different companies, there will be, in generally, you don't know whether the customer will make a payment, and again, you don't know any guarantee what kind of a customer, whether he will make a payment against it, or whether he will be receiving the goods, or because you will not have much details. If in case laws are also different, if in case if it does not make a payment, also follow up will also be different, because you're not based out in that country and you will not know many details there. So what happens in this case? There will be something called, the banks that gets involved. So there will be a bank that gives something called a bank guarantee, that gives, and a bank guarantee or letter of credit that they call it. So basically, the customer will have something called, bank guarantees that he will have, or he will say letter of credit issued by the bank, because you're dealing with an individual. It might be difficult for you to send the goods based on, let's say, uh, might be trusting, might be different. So but in generally, the banks would be trustable, because the banks, the establishments will say, if in case, if he does not, he has a credit in his account, and the customer will be able to, uh, will be able to make a payment. If in case he is not making the payment, then we will be responsible, to clear your dues if in case if he does not make a payment. Like that, there will be some bank guarantees that would be given from the customer side, and there will be some letter of credit that would be issued by the customer side. So if in case we are dealing with such business, so basically whenever we have this payment guarantee procedure, if you maintain, so what happens? So whenever there is a sales order that would be created to this particular customer, that particular sales order that would be created for this particular customer, that sales order will always go in block status, will go in block status. All the sales order that is created to the customer will be going block status. Then once you receive this bank guarantee or this letter of credit, you know this is basically some such certain financial documents that you will have. Once you receive from the from the customer system, like the bank that is getting guaranteed, saying that we will be making the payment in case of any default that he does, then we will be proceeding ahead to release its sales order block. Okay. So whenever in terms of exports and all that we'll again talk about this scenario in detail. How do we do the export business process and all, we'll talk about it. As of now, just understand the conceptually what it is. So we will have a company and a customer. So the customer, if in case of an export, there'll be some bank guarantees, or the letter of credit will be issued by the customer bank. So whenever you create the sales order towards the customer, the sales order will always be blocked. Okay. Once it is blocked, then you'll have to proceed further to release that particular block. uh, you know uh, we need to first receive the financial document, and once the financial document is received, we will go ahead and release the block that we will have in the customer. So we have something called there's a transaction code called VKM3. There's a transaction code called VKM3 here. Basically, like if you give some sales document in this, you will be able to let's say at, like you'll be able to attach the financial documents. So when the financial documents as received, you attach your financial documents, and you and release your sales document using this transaction code called VKM3. uh, you know Post which you will be able to proceed ahead with your sales order. So whenever you maintain this payment guarantee procedure, which means system will always block your sales order unless and until you receive that particular letter of credit or bank guarantees or something that would be there. Okay. Again, we will see this the payment guarantee procedure. It has its own customizing path, but we will be talking about in detail later. Where do you have them, and what is that you will have. Okay. Then the next field that you have here is uh, credit control area. Okay. Credit control area uh, you know is basically, again, we will talk about it when we come to the concept called credit management in detail. But if in case you wanted to assign a particular credit control area to a customer, like if you have multiple credit control areas, then if you want to assign, like in which credit control area this customer belong to, then you will assign it. Basically, for us, in this credit control area at this customer would be required if in case this customer exists in multiple company codes. Let's say you have different company codes which has different credit control areas, and if in case the customer will be dealing with many company codes, then you will be maintaining in this sales area data. Okay, the credit control area, or else you don't need to maintain it here. So there is another way of directly at the company code level it would be picked up. Again, that is we will discuss when we talk about in the credit management. But the credit management is nothing but you will be assessing the risk of a customer, whether you can give a credit to this customer or not. How is his payment transactions, how is his history, how much balance he has to pay to us, whether he's a high risk, low risk, or a medium risk customer. How much is due. For example, he has already pending invoices where he need to clear some 1 lakh rupees or 2 lakh rupees, he did not still clear them, but still he again placed another order. Should you be able to proceed ahead to deliver to him, or you have to wait for him until he clear his due, then make a payment? So it's again based on kind of a customer, based on the deal that we have. So there will be something called a credit management that would be coming into picture. We'll talk about it in detail. So but this is mainly talking about the credit control area, if in case that needs to be maintained here or not. So which is again we will be seeing it later. Okay, then you have account assignment group of a customer. This account assignment group, as I was mentioning, after the invoice document gets generated in the system, we will have something called an accounting document and jail accounts that gets determined. Based on the invoice document that gets generated, there'll be an accounting document also that gets generated. So here the account assignment group that we are talking about is kind of a prerequisite field that is talking about this is one of the parameters that helps you to determine the GL account while posting the invoices. To get a GL account, so you will have to use this account assignment group. There'll be some account assignment group of the customer. There's an account assignment group of material. There are different things we will see, but this account assignment group is in the customer master is one of the fields that will be helpful for your jail account determination. Okay, then you have taxes. So taxes, you are saying this field controls whether the customer is liable for taxes or he is not liable for taxes. Maybe there are some customers who belong to some special economic zones or something, or to certain areas, or maybe within, let's say within Europe you're dealing because they are all part of some EU region. There won't be some taxes that would be there. There can multiple ways, whether based on the customer location and all, we will see whether the customer is eligible for tax or he is not eligible for tax. We'll again see when we talk about the tax concept. Here mainly we're saying tax exempt means zero means he is not eligible for tax, one means liable for tax. And again, for you, for the taxes to be determined during your sales order, again this is also one of the prerequisite fields. Only only if in case the customer is liable for tax and material is liable for tax, then only you will be maintaining the tax records. If not, there won't be any taxes that would be maintained. But we'll see when we talk about the pricing and the taxes in the later point of time. So here here mainly the control is whether the customer is eligible for tax or not, is what we'll be maintaining here. Okay, so these are all the different fields that you should know uh, in the sales, shipping and the billing tab. This, before I go to partner function, I'll just take a quick pause. If you guys have some questions on the fields that we discussed, let me know, or else we'll start with something called the partner functions.
Robert.
Okay, again, before, okay, let me explain the partner determination, then I'll come to another thing. Okay, so here, okay, partner functions. So partner functions or the partner determination, this is very important for you to understand. We have multiple determinations that we'll have partner determination, output type determination, material determination, text determination. There are multiple determinations that we will be discussing during our course. So basically here, partner determination, this text determination, output determination, these are all very important. This is basically like the determination is nothing but how do you get these partners automatically during your customer master, or during your sales order creation, or during your delivery creation or invoice creation. How can you have the partners that are involved in a particular business transaction automatically? So there can be some partners who will be there will be some I mean, determination is again, you just understand in that way that in order for one second, guys, just give me 1 minute. There's some, just 1 minute. So in order for to get the partners automatically in your, let's say, in your master data, or in your customer master, I mean in your master data or in your sales transactions, maybe there are certain partners you want to get determined only during your sales order creation. Maybe there are some certain partners you want to trigger only during your delivery creation, and some partner master you wanted to you want it to be copied from your customer master to your sales document. There are multiple ways that we will be discussing. So basically here, uh, partner determination is the way how do you get these partners in your sales document is what we'll be discussing here. So whenever we talk about the partner determination or the partner functions, the partner functions are nothing but, you just have to remember them, like, they are the partners who are the partners who are involved in a particular business transaction, or referred to as partner functions. So basically, like, the basically who or we'll have the person who places an order. We'll have the person who, who to whom we need to ship the goods. There's a partner to whom we need to trigger the bill, and there's a partner who will make the payment, right? So in every business transaction, these are all the four business partners that you will in generally have, that would be involved. So you will have the person who places an order, the person to whom you need to ship the goods, the person to whom the bill has to be generated, and the person who makes the payment. All these four can be same, or it can be different, but these are all mostly the important four mandatory partner functions that you would require in any business transaction that you will have. Okay, along with this business transaction, so based on like, the document that you will have, might be you will need some additional partner functions as well. So these becomes your mandatory partner functions to be there. Apart from this mandatory partner functions, you can have some, let's say, maybe additional partner functions, like someone called forwarding agent. Who is a forwarding agent? The forwarding agent is the one who will be actually delivering the goods to you, which means the transportation guy. So where, because you will be delivering, but there'll be some person who brings the goods, in his truck, or in his whatever is the way of his transport. So you call him as a forwarding agent. So this forwarding agent is the one who will be delivering the goods. Then maybe in your whenever you're dealing, maybe you need some employee responsible from your company for a particular business transaction. You wanted to also see employee responsible. There is some employee who has actually brought this. Maybe he would need some commission, based on some sales that is happening. So you wanted to also maintain the employee responsible, for the again, employee responsible. The employee would be, let's say, one employee for a particular customers. There can be multiple employees that can be responsible, to get some deals. So employee responsible, you don't need to maintain directly in your customer master, but you want it to be determined only during your sales orders. This example, it's during your sales order, and you want forwarding agent only in your delivery document. You don't want it in your sales orders as well. So like that, you can also have, in multiple documents, if you want it to be received, you can also maintain only those partner functions there. Then you will have something like, let's say, in the customer, at the customer place, there will be one contact person, who will be mainly responsible, let's say, to our customer. There'll be kind of a contact person who will be mainly responsible, to to with whom we can discuss the different aspects of shipping or anything. So there will be something called a contact person, to whom we will be, updating regularly about the delivery process or the order process or anything. So there'll be some partner function called contact person at the customer side. So these are all the additional partner functions that you will have, along with your standard partner functions that you will be having. Okay, so now, so Partner functions or the partner are nothing but, the people who will be involved in a particular sales transaction, the business partners who are involved in a particular sales transactions. You term them as partner functions. Okay. So now we will be seeing something called a partner determination procedure. Whenever I'm saving this customer master data, or whenever I'm creating a customer master, how is this partner functions coming automatically in your system? So behind this, there is a configuration called a partner determination procedure. Okay. Okay. In the partner determination procedure, we will mainly, it is, we will just discuss, it's mainly consists of 3 steps. Okay. 3 steps is what will contain. One is we define partner function. So what are all the partner function? Your SP, SH, BP, PY, all this called as partner functions that you will have. So you will define these partner functions. These are all your English terms and these are all your German terms. Okay. Whatever it is, mainly, system will be mainly knowing AG, AU, RE and RG. It does not understand SH, BP, PY. Yeah? Because in the code, it will always be in the German that would be there, because SAP is a German company. Most of the initial code, whatever it will be, will be done in German. Okay. So you define your partner functions. Then what happens? You take all the partner functions that you define and you group all the partner functions in partner determination procedure. Okay. Step 1, you define your partner functions. Then in step 2, you group all the partner functions into something called, like, all the partner functions together, you group them, whoever you wanted them, into something called a partner determination procedure. Then the step 3 will be you assign this partner determination procedure to, maybe at the moment I'll say account groups or respective partner objects. I'll say at the moment account groups. Okay. We'll be just creating. These are all the main 3 steps that we will have. That would be there. Now we will see the configuration behind. Now you're getting, whenever you create a customer master, so these partner functions are coming automatically. Might be you want some additional partner functions also to be coming in your system. How do you do that? What do you do? Is what we'll be just seeing now. Now the first step, as I mentioned, is define partner functions. So okay, now where do you go in order to define these partner functions? What all these partner functions, as I mentioned, it will be your sold to party, ship to party, payer, and so on and so forth. So in order for you to determine these partner functions, again go to SPRO. I'll again come back, SPRO, go to IMG. Inside IMG, come down to your sales and distribution. Inside sales and distribution, go to basic functions. Okay, not in master data. Under basic functions, if you come here, there is something called partner determination. Okay, there's something called partner determination. Expand this partner determination, then you have setup partner determination. Okay, you execute this partner determination, then here you can see the partner determination can be done at the customer master level, at the sales document header level, sales document item level, at the delivery level, shipment level, billing document header, billing document item, and okay, sales activities as well. So you have multiple places where you can actually, the partner determination procedure can be assigned to. Okay. Now what we will be seeing is in the customer master level, but the setting up of partner determination is still the same. Setting up partner determination is still the same across everything. As I mentioned, let's say in the customer master you will be defining, just for the sake of example, just for the customer master you wanted to define all your 4 basic partner functions that you want. Okay, maybe sold to party, shipped to, these are the 4 partner functions that you will define in your customer master. But might be in your sales order header you want an additional partner function called employee responsible or a contact person. Then you will be assigning that partner function only at the sales order header level. Maybe you want a forwarding agent at the delivery level, then you will be creating only the forwarding agent in that level. But if you want everywhere, you can assign everywhere as well. But whatever you have, you know let's say you don't maintain any master data, the partner function, and in your sales order if you enter any of the partner function, then you will directly enter, let's say, forwarding agent during the delivery creation, or you will be directly entering the contact person during your sales order creation, and so on and so forth. So you can maintain them. So first we will see the basic setting up, but the steps would remain the same across everything. We will be basically seeing the let's say, uh, how do you set up this partner determination for the customer master. Okay, let's just see this. So you guys know the path, right? It's in SPRO. Okay, I think some you were also asking. And if you wanted, don't always remember the path, because as I mentioned, I want you to guys only remember the path, not the transaction codes. But just in case you want some transaction codes as well, VOPAN. This is a direct transaction code that you will have, VOPAN, where it will bring you to the same screen. Multiple ways here: customer master, sales document, uh, document item, delivery. Whatever you see here, it will be there, and you can display or you can change, and it will come to the same screen that you have. Okay, this is what you can come into it. But the transaction code that you have is called VOPAN. But I prefer you first know uh, you know the path of it. Transaction codes, we'll see it later. Okay, so SPRO, sales and distribution, basic functions. Under basic functions, come to partner determination and click on the setup partner determination. Then click on this setup partner determination for customer master. Okay, so here this is a page that you come here. As we mentioned, we have mainly 3 steps that we'll have. One is partner functions. You'll have something called a partner function that we'll have. Then there's something called a partner determination procedure where you assign your partner functions. Then you'll assign your partner determination to your account group. So basically here, these are all the similar kind of an thing, but basically these are the 3 steps that we will have out of these configurations that we have. Okay, so first come here, click on setup partner functions for customer master. Now click on this partner functions. Okay, here you can define your own partner functions. Maybe as I mentioned, you have these partner functions. Let's say if you want to use any of the existing partner functions, sold to party, or you can maintain, or you don't want to maintain sold to party. Maybe you wanted to copy or you wanted to create a new entry, you can create, let's say, ZS or something. It does not matter. Maybe you would say Z1 as my sold to party, Z2 as my ship to party, Z3 as my bill to party, Z4 as my payer. It's up to you how do you define, and the naming is also up to you. How do you want to define? If you want to create, but in generally all these partner functions will be existing. It's always good, you use the standard ones only. There's no, but let's say just for the sake of practice, to understand, you can maintain sold to party, or maybe you can give your company code as well. Maybe I would say Tesla something, or just your own identification you can give. Ship to party, or you can just maintain ship to, or whatever you want you can maintain. Bill to, then payer. Okay, just for your testing purpose you create it, but it does not matter what naming convention or what partner function you give, as long as someone already has created with this particular code. Okay, then you will not be able to, as long as there is no one created with this code, then you can always create it. If someone else who is practicing already use this code, then you will not be able to again create something new. So these are all the partner functions that you can define. Okay, according to the business requirement you will define your partner functions or use the partner functions. Maybe I'd say Z5 contact person, maybe Z6 as, let's say, forwarding agent, and Z7 as employee responsible. So all this is up to you. How do you define? It does not matter. What is important is this partner type to be assigned to this partner function. So whatever you want, to define it, but partner type is what that would be mainly important for you to identify, to understand whether he is a customer or he's a vendor, or if it's a system, or if it's a shipping point or a plant. What it is based on the this partner type. For you, always it is KU is your customer. So sold to party is your customer, because Z1 already exists. I think because a demo system someone might have already created it. Z1, Z2, Z3, Z4. Okay, everything is Z, ZB is also there. Is there anything starting with Y? YA, YB. Okay, there's something. There's nothing called YA, YB. So I'll just maybe create, let's say YA sold to. Then what is important is a partner type. He becomes a KU. Okay, KU is your partner type. Then I will say YB ship to. Again, he's also my KU. Then YC, maybe I'll take bill to. Is again your KU. Then YC is your payer. Again, he becomes your KU. Okay. Okay, YC already exists. Sorry, it's YD, right? YD. Who the hell closed my system? I don't know. I think someone is also using, I guess. Not sure. I come here, click on the partner functions. You click on your own YA, YB. Okay. You maintain, as of now, I'll just maintain these 4 partner functions that we'll have. Sold to party, ship to party, bill to party, and pair. And again, maybe if just for the sake of difference, maybe I'll say YE. If I say, let's say contact person will not become your customer. Contact person, there is a separate partner type called contact person that you will have. Okay, so this is a contact person that you will have. AP is your contact person. Similarly, for example, YF, if in case uh, let's say he's your employee, if in case he's your employee who is responsible, then he will be your user. There will be a user in your SAP system, so he becomes a user in your system. Okay, so he becomes a okay, partner US is, then why is that US coming there? Okay, Maybe I think it's not defined. We will just and delete at the moment. Okay, so let's save this. We'll see the user. So basically, like, here, sold to party, ship to party, bill to payer, contact person, you can create it, or everything will be already existing in the system. So you can always refer to like, what is there already created as well. For example, contact person, sold to party is SP. Okay, that would be there. Ship to party is SH. You can search. Then bill to party is BP, and PY is for payer. Okay, then contact person would be CP. In case there's a contact person, there'll be a CP that would be assigned. And yeah, again here, US, I think someone might have deleted this US, but some error was coming. If in case it's employee responsible, it's EM, or I think it was EM. Okay, there is a partner function for employee responsible also that we'll have. Then let's say like if you have some forwarding agent also, there are I just forgot, there's something called a forwarding agent. Okay, anyway, at the moment, we don't need to worry much about it. We'll see it later when we come to the topic. So okay, so you will maintain your multiple partner functions. You can see them, or if you want to use them from the existing, you can use them, or if you want to create, just make sure that it does not exist. Then you can create everything on your own. So you define your partner functions. Partner functions is fine, but what is mainly important is a partner type. So partner type is what that is important for you, whether he's a customer or a vendor or a contact person or an employee or a user. So you'll be identifying based on this partner type. So whether the sold to party means whether he's a customer or a vendor, how will system know? It's based on the partner type that you select. If you select again sold to party, let's say LI, then he becomes a vendor. So system will not, it won't be coming in your customer master. So whatever the naming convention you give and the partner function you give, it does not matter. The control mainly lies in this partner type. So the partner type is the one that controls whether it's a customer or a contact person, everything. So this is what it is very important for you to select whenever you define your own partner function. Okay, then here again, important thing that you have here is there's something called unique. Okay, unique is there. So unique means whenever there's a unique, uh, generally, like, that becomes a, let's say, the partner function will become, you cannot enter multiple partner functions of that particular partner type. Okay, for example, in a particular sales order, for us in a particular sales order, it's always sold to party that will be unique. Okay, in your customer master on your sales order, which means, like, there will be only one sold to party who will be placing an order in your in your customer master, because there'll be a separate customer that would be there. Mainly sold to party will be the important partner function, but he can ask to let's say, to ship to multiple places. Whenever you're placing an let's say, whenever you're customer of an Amazon or something, you can say deliver to my address somewhere in Bangalore, you say deliver to my another address in Mysore, or you deliver to another address in Mangalore, or you deliver to another address somewhere. So you can have multiple ship to parties that could be there, based on your sold to party, right? And again, there can be multiple payers as well. You say that, okay, or maybe, payer, sometimes it is unique, but most of the time it is not. But there'll be some consolidated, because you're the one who's saying, you say that, you send a bill to this guy, now you send a bill to another guy another time. You can send based on the business transaction and based on the location, your bill to and your payer may also get differed. But the one who places an order will be only sold to party. So this unique key controls, if you check this unique, then what happens is you cannot have multiple partner functions of that partner type in your customer master. If you now we are in the customer master, this becomes unique in the customer master. If you are in some other let's say, if you are in some other sales transaction, it becomes unique in that particular sales transaction. For example, I'll go to let's say our customer that we were just using until now. I'll just go to this particular customer that we have. Partner function, if I see here, and then you have sold to party, right? SP, BP, PY, SH is there. Now let's say I will look for SP. Let me just look for SP, which is your sold to party. Here you can see sold to party unique is selected. The unique is selected for the sold to party. Okay. Now if I try to enter SP again, okay, and if I just try to enter maybe some 8 something, here I'm getting an error saying that partner function SP already exists, only defined once, which means it is saying this partner function SP is already there, so you cannot have one more SP created here. How is this been controlled whether I have an SP, I can have one more SP or not? It is controlled by the help of this unique. Let's say just for our testing purpose, I'll remove this SP. I'll remove this unique here. Now if I just come back in your customer master, if I just go in the change of this customer master, now if I enter SP and if I enter 8, then system will allow me to create one more sold to party. If I enter one more SP and if I enter maybe some 6, system will allow me still to enter that sold to party. Okay, it will allow me to enter the sold to party. How is it is allowing? It's because the unique is not checked. So if I check this unique box, which means there'll be only one person who can be able to place this order for this customer. Then if I try to go in your customer master, and if you try to give your SP, and if you try to give one more number that you have, system will give you an error saying that sold to party already exists. It is controlled by the help of this unique key that you have here. So the sold to party is unique. For example, ship to party or bill to party might not be. There's no unique that is set. So you can have multiple ship to parties. So you're the sold to party, but you send it to 6. You send one more ship to party maybe to 8 or something. So we will be defining our, but just for the sake of example I'm saying, so this guy is a sold to party, but according to the business transaction, he may ask you to ship to 7 only, or he may ask you to ship to 6 location, or he may ask you to ship to 8 location. It depends. Then he would say I'm the only person who will be responsible for paying and billing. So during a business transaction, whenever we are discussing on the partner determination towards the client, we will ask them, so can you have multiple bill to parties? Can you have multiple payers? Can you have multiple ship to parties? Or if in case someone enters one more payer, or maybe he would say ship to party can be unique, but the bill to party will always be the one who will be sold to party. You cannot have multiple bill to parties in the system. So it is not possible to have multiple bill to parties. So it's only one bill to party that you need to send. And he'll say, I want it to be unique. You also have to maintain it. Like, if in case there's multiple bill to parties that are maintained, then I want the error to be triggered. Again, during the sales transaction, there has to be only one employee responsible. Like for example, like then you will be just maintaining unique for an employee responsible in the sales document header or somewhere, not in the customer master, because employee responsible can be different to different. So like that, you can maintain multiple partner functions, and this unique key will be mainly telling whether it is unique at that particular master data, or there can be multiple ways that can be maintained. Okay, this is about the partner function that you have. Any question on this partner function?
Yeah, Dinesh, is it possible
Yeah.
for any seller to have more than one sold to party in any scenario?
For me, because see, sold to party will always be unique, because whenever you have multiple sold to party, you can maintain it, but you can have multiple ship tos, bill tos, and payers, but for me, I have not seen a scenario where you can have multiple sold to parties. If in case business says they need multiple sold to parties, we can maintain it, but sold to party will be the one who will be placing an order. So that will be a unique partner function that has to be there. I don't see any scenario where you can have multiple sold to parties that could be maintained. So even the suggestion would be, you always have, whenever we talk to clients also, we always say, you should have one sold to party. If you want to have different sold to party, create one more, one more master data. Like if you have multiple people that's there, you can have another master data, because we always maintain a sold to party as unique. But again, from an IT point of view, we can define however we want, whether we wanted to make it unique, or we wanted to make it have multiple, we can enable it. But from a business transaction, from a business point of view, I think they won't agree to, even they will not agree if in the key users when we discuss, because it always should be kind of a unique that they will have. We will not have any much big scenarios where it can be multiple sort of parties that would be useful.
Okay, okay, Dinesh. Yeah, correct.
Yeah. Okay. Any other questions?
No,
Okay.
sir.
If no questions, then we have discussed about the partner functions, but we'll talk about the other steps that we have in this partner determination in the next class. Okay, so we'll talk about more in the other partner determination procedure, and assigning them, finally how the partner function would come. All this we will talk in the next class. Okay. All right, guys. Thanks for your time then.